Queen Sylvie of the multiple award-winning The Queen Sylvie Show. You want to expand and get noticed? Then come outside your box and into our world. Internet advertising has a real impact on global awareness and even sales, so let's make an impact together. Offering for a limited time advertising and sponsorship packages that excel your purpose. So contact Queen Sylvie or Smooth Tim for the exciting opportunities that awaits. Yeah.
Are you tired of driving around a dirty car? Say hello to the ultimate solution for your car. Quick Auto Detail, home, work, or wherever. Their mobile car spa will clean and shine your car anytime and anywhere. Their products are gentle on your car's paint, and they use only the highest quality materials. Book your appointment now.
Hey kids, how would you like to hear this on the screen instead of the great show you came to see? That's what you sound like. Honest. Please cooperate and do your part in keeping this theater quiet so everyone, including you, can enjoy it. Remember, lots of adults and kids, too, paid admission to enjoy the show. We must insist on absolute quiet.
Thank you very much for this tremendous honor, the FIFA Peace Prize, a beautiful award, one of the greatest awards ever created by anyone ever. You know, I was told 5 minutes ago it didn't exist until today. That's how important I am. They invent awards for me. Incredible. And let me tell you, folks, this is not my first honor, not even close. I've received so many awards. Some people call them participation trophies, but I call them victory mementos. Tremendous mementos. I've been honored more times than any human in the history of humans who has ever participated in anything. I remember when I got the I Never Cheated Golf Award, they gave it to me because I told them I never cheat, and if I did, they better shut their damn pretty mouths. So pretty much every golf course I own has given this award to me. And then there was the New York City Thanksgiving Day Parade Appreciation Ribbon. They told me if I stayed home, they would give this to me as a thank you. And the Atlantic City Most Incompetent Casino Operator Certificate, which I received the same year I lost the most money. Coincidence? I think not. A very emotional moment. And of course, I can't forget the Mar-a-Lago Employee Choice Award. I told my employees if they gave me the award, then they and their families would be spared from ICE raids. I lied, of course. Now, hiring. Ha, ha, ha. But this award, the FIFA Peace Prize, is the most important of them all because I brought peace to soccer. Before me, total chaos, people kicking balls everywhere, nobody knowing the rules, lines on the field, Don Jr. jumping on the field trying to snort them, insanity. But I brought stability just by existing. They said, sir, you didn't participate at all. And I said, exactly, and look how peaceful it became. That's diplomacy. You know, Jeffrey Epstein and I were going to start a soccer league, but then we found out you can't use your hands. What, no hands? That's a hard no, am I right? Ha-ha, inside joke. So thank you, FIFA. Thank you, soccer. Thank you to all my fans, and thank you to the many, many organizations who have honored me for merely showing up, thinking about showing up, or being rumored to have shown up somewhere at some point. This is what winning looks like, folks. Pure, beautiful participation winning. Peace out, bitches.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
Hey, damn right, let's rock. How is everybody doing on another Wednesday evening? And thank you for dropping by and spending another hump day with me on Tim's Tidbits. I certainly do appreciate it. In any regard, it has been a very interesting week around the world, here, there, and everywhere. So let's just jump right into it. How about that? Anyhow, I think if you've been keeping up with the news whatsoever, you'll know that in Texas, they're doing some gerrymandering. I mean, they're redrawing, they redrew their congressional maps so that they could gain themselves 5 more Republican seats. But in any regards, it seems to counter that. We have talked that in California, they have a bill setting there, waiting so they can put to the voters to gain some more Senate seats. So now they can counter with Republican seats, Democratic seats rather, to the Republican seats that were gained in Texas. It's unbelievable what they're doing with these congressional maps. Same thing they're doing in Ohio, getting them redrawn. But in any regards, to help counter what occurred from the redrawing or redistricting of the maps, what happened is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett kind of got redistricted out of where she has nothing. So she kind of didn't exist anymore. But Colin Allred, he decided that he could easily give up his Senate, his congressional seat, and go for a Senate seat, and then let Jasmine go for his seat. So it's kind of like a tit for tat is going to be going on because of all this craziness going on with the redrawing maps. But hey, those are the politics that we live in, folks, and enjoy this little segment.
Just into our newsroom, a major shakeup in Texas politics. Democrat Colin Allred is dropping out of the U.S. Senate race.
Yeah, the announcement coming less than 30 minutes ago. He will instead run for Congress in the newly drawn 33rd District. His announcement comes just hours before today's filing deadline. Allred says a tough Democratic Senate primary could divide the party ahead of a critical election year. His exit clears the way for a possible Senate matchup between James Tallarico and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who is expected to announce her plans today.
And Crockett is prepared to rerun for her seat in Congress or run for Senate, writing 2 cashier's checks and planning to cash one in just 90 minutes before her announcement today. Republicans say her candidacy could energize their base as Senator John Cornyn campaigns for his reelection in the Senate.
Unbelievable. So, hey, it's just a sparring match in Washington, D.C., back and forth about who's going to be able to get the redistricting done and who could make somebody vote for them, even though they don't want to vote for them. And guess what? They're still not doing a damn thing for us, are they? It just seems like, yeah, there's a lot going on in Washington, but absolutely nothing happening for us. In fact, we're losing benefits like it's going out of style left and right. But in any regard, everything seems to be happening well in D.C. Now, doesn't it? And let's get into, speaking of what's going on in Washington, D.C., you do know, and we haven't seen that they are just demolishing part of the White House and putting up the Trump ballroom, which it seems that, there's a lot more attached to the White House ballroom than maybe just the ballroom. Check out this video and it might explain a little bit for you.
Is this the most corrupt thing a president has ever done? Trump isn't just destroying the White House to make room for a vanity ballroom. He's selling it off to the highest bidders who conveniently need favors from his regime. Google and Amazon, for example, are both chipping in with massive donations to help fund Trump's Versailles. They both just happen to have massive antitrust lawsuits working their way through the courts. But I'm sure their ballroom donations have nothing to do with that, right? I suppose that Apple's support for the ballroom isn't related to its own legal problems or its desire to remain exempt from Trump's tariffs. Oh, and Meta. It's also involved in a major antitrust suit with the Federal Trade Commission right now, but I'm sure the company is just donating because Mark Zuckerberg is a patriot. Surely it's not because Meta and other big tech companies stand to gain handsomely if Trump maintains his corporate-friendly AI policy. Other generous donors to the Ballroom project include cryptocurrency players like Coinbase, Ripple, and even the Winklevoss twins.
This idea is potentially worth millions of dollars.
Millions?
Yes.
Yes, those Winklevoss twins I'm sure they would be thrilled if Donald Trump kept up his crypto-friendly policies, which he's also cashing in on. And Coinbase's donation probably has nothing to do with the company being under an active regulatory investigation, right? Some of these powerful corporations might also see the Ballroom project as a chance to get even more powerful. The railroad giant Union Pacific is eyeing a $72 billion mega merger, which needs approval from federal regulators. And what about Comcast? It also needs government approval for the frequent mergers and acquisitions it pursues. So does private equity executive Steven Schwarzman, the CEO of Blackstone. But I'm sure they just thought a ballroom sounded nice too. Companies that survive on government contracts are also chipping in, including Palantir and Lockheed Martin. How kind of them. Notice a pattern here? The Supreme Court has narrowed the definition of bribery to the point where a specific favor has to be demanded in advance of payment. So we can't say this is bribery exactly. But the writing is on the wall. Perhaps literally. These donors could get their names etched into the new White House building itself. Could there be a more fitting monument to the Trump presidency? Because in Trump's White House, everything is for sale, even the building itself.
Ooh, ouch. Okay. So it seems like he has some high-rolling donors that may have themselves in some legal issues that possibly our POTUS could give them a pardon, like he has others, like he did the big drug dealer. And I thought he was taking out all narco-terrorists, but then not all. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to go catch up on last week's show. How about that? But in any regards, it's not all bad. It seriously is not all bad. In fact, Trump was in this week in Pennsylvania, and he was actually delivering a very positive message when it came, when it comes to right now the economic outlook in America. And he gave a very positive speech. I want you to listen to this, and maybe it'll give you a little bit of different perspective on what's going on with your wallet.
Overnight, President Trump in Pennsylvania to tout his economic policies and tackle the #1 issue for voters, the cost of living.
I have no higher priority than making America affordable again. That's what we're going to do.
But the president has also dismissed concerns about affordability, calling the issue a Democrat hoax and a con job.
They use the word affordability, and that's their only word. They say affordability, and everyone says, oh, that must mean Trump has high prices. No, our prices are coming down tremendously from the highest prices in the history of our country.
But the price of groceries actually up from a year ago, including products impacted by the president's tariffs. Coffee up 41%, sirloin steak up 20%, frozen orange juice up 12%. The president standing by his tariffs while saying Americans may have to make some sacrifices.
You don't need $37 for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice, but you don't need $37. So we're doing things right. We're running this country right.
But most polls show voters don't agree. A new Reuters Ipsos poll shows 56% of Americans disapprove of how the president is handling the cost of living. Only 31% approve. The speech last night intended to be laser-focused on the economy ahead of the midterms, but Trump repeatedly going off topic.
I haven't read practically anything off the stupid teleprompter.
The president launching into vicious attacks against Somali immigrants, calling them lazy and garbage, and continuing to go after Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, who is a naturalized U.S. citizen. The president rousing the crowd with demands she leave the country. Trump then veering into an anti-immigrant tirade.
We only take people from countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark, do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people, do you mind? But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime.
And the White House had said this would be a, quote, positive, economic-focused speech. And we're told this speech was just the first of many to come ahead of the midterms. And the White House says they plan to put Trump front and center in these races. His chief of staff saying they're going to, quote, put him on the ballot in November and that he's going to campaign like it's 2024 again, George.
Okie dokie, folks. See what's happening? I think the handwriting's on the wall. This guy is never going to leave office. And he's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. What the hell was that? He's supposed to be on a positive economic message and just went off on a tyrant about, Somali immigrants and how filthy dirty they are. Okay. Kind of reminiscent, of when you're Irish and you're Italians and came over in the same situation, they paint them as, filthy, disgusting animals that shouldn't be in the United States. I don't know why he has rhetoric like that. He's supposed to be our president. But in any regard, yeah, economically, yeah. Wow, I feel it in the coffee industry. Hello. 41% increase in your coffee, 20% on your beefsteaks. It's insane, folks. Yeah, we need to maybe make a U-turn somewhere so we can get back to being able to even feed ourselves. But in any regards, in keeping with MAGA, making America great again, apparently it was the administration's idea that it would be maybe economically more feasible or beneficial, rather, to the national park system should they cancel maybe a few of the free days, like maybe 4th of July and some of these others that the national parks open up their doors and you don't have to pay the normal $20, $30 admission to get into the park. It's free that day. And the administration, Trump administration, has decided maybe it is a good idea to take a few of those away because maybe the government's bleeding a little bit too much money. And apparently some of them's getting bled into the ballroom. But in any regards, let's get on with this story and check it on out.
At 6, there's a new calendar from the National Park Service listing which federal holidays will have free entrance days in 2026. Now, 2 prominent holidays have been crossed off of that list, Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth. And holidays like Flag Day, which President Trump's birthday also, will have free entry along with Constitution Day in September. Atlanta News First is Alani Latang is at Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park. And Alani, this is kind of a shocker for some people.
It is. It took some people by surprise. And this is a national park that charges $5 a day, just a standard rate, a $40 annual fee. And people we spoke with, a lot of people, just mixed reactions from both. Some say they agree, some say they disagree. Those that disagree say they think this is about accessibility, that, adding on or taking away prominent holidays doesn't do this country justice, where other people that agree with these changes, specifically adding President Trump's birthday, say they're going to go with the flow. They say that we should celebrate president's holidays. So just to recap, Victor, the National Park Service for 2026 is now saying that Martin Luther King Day and Juneteenth will no longer be on the free entry days for national parks. These are national parks across the country here. And these are 2 federal holidays that celebrate civil rights achievements and the end of slavery. The national park now offering those free days for President Trump's birthday, which is also Flag Day, in addition to Veterans Day, Memorial Day, President's Day, Independence Day weekend, among a few other national federal holidays. And while most parks are free, some do require a fee, like here at Kennesaw Mountain. And again, just speaking with people here that enjoy the park, they say that this is a move that they don't agree with, and some do agree with this move. Again, saying that we should celebrate President Trump's birthday and that we should go with the flow. Again, others that are disagreeing, saying this is just limiting the amount of access that we have specifically for these prominent holidays. Now, Metro Atlanta does have 2 other national parks. That is the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Park and then also the Chattahoochee River Park. But for now, we're live here in Cobb County. I'm Alani Latang, Atlanta News First.
Okie dokie. So, just so we can recap this, you'll no longer be able to get free entry into the national parks on Juneteenth and or MLK Day, either one of those 2 holidays, but you will be able to get your free entrance on President Trump's birthday to help celebrate him. How wonderful. Yeah, how wonderful. Anyhow, speaking of how wonderful, yeah, I think we talked about this sometime ago about a hate group that was hosting various seminars and get-togethers, national, get-togethers down in Tennessee at one of the state parks in Tennessee. But let's take a look at what happened recently when a few of these people got identified and was attending this hate group conference, let's call it, down in the state park of Tennessee.
If you are not here to celebrate and lift up love, what are you doing here? Why would you come?
Among the changing colors of the season,
Here for the conference? Yes, what's your last name?
visitors came from across the country for a conference where the only color that really matters is white.
But because there are 200 or 300 people in that building over there that believe only they belong in this country.
Here at Tennessee's Montgomery Bell State Park, protesters were kept far from attendees at the American Renaissance Conference, an event that, as the protesters see it, represents the worst of the world of hate.
And we want our message of tolerance and acceptance to stand in stark contrast to what they're advocating for in there.
Exactly what they advocate inside the park's lodge is a closely guarded secret, as is the guest list, which is what led us to stake out the security checkpoint standing in a public spot in a public park where we found some attendees desperate to hide from our cameras. For this woman, it was an effort that required both hands.
It's my understanding that you have been providing these pictures to people in the past years.
And this man, a longtime American Renaissance speaker and attorney who has represented the Klan and other hate groups, accused us of working with domestic terrorists. So when he stopped to take pictures, I decided to confront his questions directly. Did you have any questions for me?
Well, I'd be happy to ask you. Y'all are with Channel 5?
I am with Channel 5. I'm Phil Williams.
Hi, I'm Sam Dixon. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Sam.
The reason is we have reason to be concerned because we've had lots of trouble with a group called Antifa. And they have tried to prevent us from having our meetings. And
I assure you, I'm not Antifa. Back at the checkpoint, we saw some familiar faces.
Hello, Thomas. How are you, sir?
That's Thomas Rousseau. He's the leader of the Patriot Front, the white nationalist group known for its flash mob protests, as well as its training of young men for battle. They want an America that's for whites only. And this is Eric Orwell, the Arkansas man who heads Return to the Land, the group that wants to build a whites-only community in Tennessee. Recently posted photos show Patriot Front showed up at Orwell's compound in Arkansas to help with building projects there. That despite what seemed like his efforts to distance himself from the group when we talked a few weeks back.
When we did the Zoom interview, you expressed some ambivalence. But then they came to your place and did some work.
No, I'm all for helping them and them helping us. I do have some personal ideological disagreements, but they're relatively minor.
Then there's Greg Johnson, the man in the passenger seat who, as you can see, was none too happy to see our cameras. One of the speakers at the conference, Johnson is author of the White Nationalist Manifesto. After a mass murder committed by neo-Nazi Anders Breivik in 2011, first killing 8 people with a van bomb, followed by the massacre of 69 people at a Norwegian youth camp, Greg Johnson wrote of his, quote, strange new respect for the killer, who he argued was engaged in resistance to genocide. Although Johnson said it would have been better if he had killed the actual leadership of Norway's Labour Party or the leaders of the Norwegian press instead of innocent children. Breivik, he wrote, simply chose the wrong targets for his killing spree. Back at the protest,
Does it surprise you that you have someone like Greg Johnson who, defends mass shooters?
It doesn't surprise me. Like I said, it is the worst of the worst.
Then there was Johnson's companion, David Zuddy. He has defended the neo-Nazi who drove into a crowd of protesters in Charlottesville, killing 32-year-old Heather Heyer. The killer was convicted of first-degree murder. Yet David Zuddy tweeted, quote, James Fields is a hero who did nothing wrong. And, quote, Charlottesville made me realize that many liberals aren't fully human, along with the true extent of Jewish media control. He has also defended those who assaulted Capitol Police on January 6th. We also spotted this man from Atlanta. His name is Jared Huggins, and he was once part of a neo-Nazi group called Identity Europa. Huggins was also in Charlottesville, according to hate researchers who uncovered this Facebook post under a different last name where he called the weekend, quote, effing metal, and this Twitter post where he celebrated the Dodge Challenger used in the murder. Then there was a Pennsylvania man who heads a publishing house that reprints Nazi and other far-right books, and this young man from East Tennessee wearing a cap for the National Alliance. His name, we discovered, is Dylan Gaidano. National Alliance is a group originally founded by neo-Nazi William Pierce. Pierce's book, The Turner Diaries, helped inspire Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh. Social media accounts linked to Gaidano have expressed admiration for violent white supremacists Robert J. Matthews and Fraser Glenn Miller. One Telegram post stated, quote, for me at least, if our goals aren't met in my lifetime, I will pull a page out of Master Sergeant Fraser Glenn Miller's playbook.
Wow. I mean, wow. You know, instead of calling that the American Renaissance Conference, they should call that the American Clown Conference. That's just a bunch of clowns getting together with some obscure, crazy fucking ideas, and they need to be institutionalized. But, you know, we allow some stuff like that to go on, right? That's okay. And we allow things like, some of these holidays to be stricken from, you know, the ability to go into a national park, but we will embrace our president's, current POTUS's birthday, and that's okay. I'm totally lost. Maybe you can somehow put it in the comments over here and enlighten me on how that makes any type of sense to anybody, because I'm lost on that one. But in any regard, you know, to try to counter some of this hate and some of this, you know, disregard for humanity occasionally, there was a fraternity that tried to make a difference. And somehow you tried to do some community outreach and, you know, make a positive difference instead of a negative impact into this world. But it doesn't seem that it can always turn out right, because somebody's going to twist it, is making it something bad, right? That your positive outreach is somehow bad, and let's call it, how are they going to call it bad? By calling it what? A hazing incident? Check it on out.
Fraternity at Arizona State University is under investigation tonight after this disturbing cell phone footage went viral showing pledges being forced to volunteer at a local soup kitchen. In the video, members of Sigma Alpha Epsilon can be seen hazing several freshmen, forcing them to put on aprons and serve hot meals for hours to those in need.
Wrong, guys. It's not funny. Stop.
It's all allegedly part of a larger pattern of initiation rituals SAE refers to as acts of service, which can range from waking up at the break of dawn for community projects to getting down on all fours to help clean the homes of senior citizens. Once a beloved campus institution known for underage drinking, SAE has now been suspended indefinitely, as university officials say the fraternity simply went too far. But the parents of Bryce Allard, one of the students seen being degraded in the video, say it's not enough and are now demanding answers.
What they made our son do was disgusting.
No parent should have to see their child helping others like that.
He could have ended up volunteering at the hospital.
Sigma Alpha Epsilon's national chapter has already announced they've severed ties with the local affiliate, saying they were, quote, deeply disturbed by these charitable allegations, and that they remained, quote, committed to their core values of getting students fucked up and keeping them there. Coming up next, rare footage of an indigenous tribe isolated deep in the jungles of South America. Hear why anthropologists believe they may have discovered the last culture to be completely unmolested by Jeffrey Epstein.
Wow. Okay. in any regards, yeah. You know, hey, it's always good to do a little bit of outreach, be some positive outreach into this world. That was something that we really do need to incorporate into our daily lives, and let's do that. How about some positive in our lives instead of the negative? Some of the negative that we've been hearing lately is how many times was this boat that was off the coast of Colombia? How many times did they bomb this thing? You know, we talked about that last week. Was there a kill 'em order to make sure that there was no survivors? We've heard that there was 2-3 strikes on the particular boat because there was maybe some drugs hanging in the water. Maybe that there was a couple of people that were still hanging onto the side of the boat waving for some unknown reason, for help and for, you know, another transport boat to come pick them up. It's getting twisted all kinds of different ways. But in any regards, when it came to Pete Hegseth's role in it, did he actually give the kill 'em all order? Apparently, and according to Admiral Bradley, no, Hegseth did not give that order, and, you know, all of this is on him.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle sharing different opinions Thursday after meeting with Admiral Bradley, who is in charge of the September 2nd operation in the Caribbean targeting alleged drug traffickers.
The first strike, the second strike, and the third and the fourth strike on September 2nd were entirely lawful and needful.
Admiral Bradley has a storied career, and he has my respect, and he should have the respect of all of us. But what I saw in that room was one of the most troubling things I've seen in my time in public service.
Bradley appearing on Capitol Hill along with Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, to answer questions about the September operation following a report from the Washington Post that a follow-up strike was carried out on a pair of survivors at the directive from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. But Bradley telling lawmakers there was no, quote, kill them all order.
These are narco-terrorists who are trafficking drugs that are destined for the United States to kill thousands of Arkansans and millions of Americans.
Bradley reportedly telling lawmakers the two survivors of the first strike were considered legitimate targets for a follow-up attack because their vessel was still believed to contain illegal drugs and they were attempting to salvage them. Some Democratic lawmakers saying the video was disturbing.
I think it'd be hard to watch this series of videos and not be troubled by it.
Now, Bradley also detailing that a total of 4 strikes were conducted, killing 11. Senator Cotton confirming a judge advocate general was present in the command center with Bradley during the operation. The information being revealed is some have called the follow-up strike a potential war crime, while others have backed the military's actions.
Whether this kind of action constituted a war crime, I can't think of a more serious accusation that could be made.
The bottom line is this is a war. The narco-terrorists are poisoning Americans, and if we have to destroy them and kill them to stop them doing that, then that's all part of this war.
Interesting. So yeah, we'll see how that even comes out, and how do they actually say you are guilty or you have committed a war crime, and where you tried for this. I'd like to follow up on that because, how do you know that these are narco-terrorist boats? I mean, there's nothing left after you've blown them up. You're just saying based on our intelligence, whatever that may be, they get blown up, the boat gets blown up, and the survivors get blown up because, again, they could somehow still pose a threat. I mean, I don't know. Again, folks, I'm confused. Please leave the comments in the side so you can enlighten me on why that happens. Anyhow, speaking of why some of the things happen, we're always on film, whether you're in the supermarket, whether you're in the convenience store, you could be almost anywhere and you are on camera. But the newest way that you are getting put on camera and it's being utilized by immigration is by those little barrels that you see at the side of the road, like, lane changes to keep you within a lane, or, to alert you of oncoming construction up ahead. check it on out and see what the new technology they're employing to help fight the immigration problem. This is crazy.
You see the cars, you see the road, but what you can't see is government technology watching. Right now, there's a federal program. It's active in several states. Drivers have been tracked, flagged, pulled over, not for breaking the law, but for where and how they drove. Journalists at the Associated Press say they've uncovered a border patrol system most Americans have never heard of. A network of license plate readers and hidden cameras, like this one inside a construction barrel. These devices were found in Arizona, Texas, and Michigan, sometimes hundreds of miles from the border. Data can be used to build a driver's pattern of life, and if the algorithm doesn't like what it sees, Border Patrol can direct local police to make a stop. The AP also found Border Patrol has accessed license plate data from local agencies, including private camera networks like Flock Safety. And that matters here because those same Flock cameras are installed all across Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast. We are just steps from our CBS 12 news station in West Palm Beach, and take a look behind me. This is what we're talking about, that small black camera with a satellite dish on top. It scans every single license plate that drives by, logging the time, the direction, and storing that information in a database. To be clear, there is no documented case of Border Patrol using Florida's plate data this way. But the technology is here, the pipeline exists, and the questions are growing. Supporters of strong border enforcement say systems like this help identify traffickers who constantly change routes.
Well, they're all trafficking something. I mean, they're illegal, so it's just only a question of what they're trafficking.
Republican lawmaker Randy Fine says license plate tracking is fair game if it helps locate those here illegally.
Until we've deported every single illegal immigrant without exception, we need to do everything possible to get them. We need to find them, catch them, and deport them.
But civil liberty advocates warn these tools don't just flag traffickers.
Right.
They can pull in everyday drivers too, infringing on our civil rights.
I think we should all agree that we shouldn't let immigration become an excuse for the government to set up mass surveillance systems that watch everybody all the
time, right? Think about it. Yeah. And what are they doing with that information? So, selling the information? Utilizing the information for some other reason? Who the hell knows? Because they're not going to tell us, that's for sure. Anyhow, hey, folks, we know that it is getting wintertime. And in fact, up here in Ohio, where I'm currently residing, if you look outside, you're going to see snow-covered ground. And it's going to stay like this for into February, into March. We'll have some snow off and on, snow-covered grounds. But that also raises the question, hey, when it snows and my drive and my sidewalks get covered with snow, am I responsible to have to clean it off? Or if somebody slipped and fall, do I have a liability issue? Well, if you're in Ohio, here's an answer for you, courtesy of Tim's Tidbits.
For someone slipping and falling on your unshoveled sidewalk. Our own Angela Ann brings you the answer.
This is really the question we get all the time when we get this much snow. Is a homeowner liable if someone falls on the sidewalk in front of their house that was not shoveled and was icy? So we checked around and we spoke with an expert from the Ohio State University College of Law.
And you might be surprised to know that homeowners actually have no duty to clear the sidewalks of natural accumulations of snow and ice. It turns out that snow and ice accumulating in winter are considered open and obvious dangers, and the Ohio Supreme Court has routinely held that landowners, and in fact even business owners, don't have a duty to clear their sidewalks of snow and ice.
So if somebody gets hurt and it's your sidewalk, are you responsible?
So in terms of tort law or personal injury law, there isn't a responsibility to that landowner as long as you haven't made that natural accumulation more dangerous through your own behavior.
But we found the city or town you live in may have its own guidance for property owners. In Columbus, city code requires home and business owners to clear sidewalks. And in Delaware, an ordinance prohibits property owners or occupants from allowing snow and ice to accumulate to the annoyance of the public. So now you know, a homeowner is not liable if someone falls on the sidewalk in front of their house, but only if that snow was untouched.
Well, there you go. So if you don't know how to walk on ice, then stay the hell off the sidewalks. Because there is a trick to it. Yeah, and in any regards. But do be kind, even though you're not responsible. Clear the snow off your sidewalks so people don't have to walk and trounce through that stuff. And occasionally, though, and unfortunately, when the sun comes out and heats up the concrete and or the blacktop, we get a little bit of ice layer, and it's going to get real slick, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. You say throw salt on it? Well, no, we're not going to throw salt on it because then it'll get into our drainage system, which goes into the Great Lakes, and our Great Lakes are not salt lakes. They are freshwater lakes, so we like to keep salt out of them. Thank you very much. And in regards, hey, let's move on to part of the show I know everybody does enjoy, and that is, seriously, dude, what the fuck? And I have two what the fuck moments actually for you. And the first one is these people seem to have encountered just a little bit of confusing artwork on the sidewalk. Check it out.
Careful! Oh my God! You good? I'm fine. Wow, that looks so real. That's the idea. I totally thought I was falling. You okay? I'm fine. Oh my gosh, that looks so real. Wow, look at that. It's so real.
Uh-huh. Whoa! Ha! Wait, what? Where'd the ground go? You just fell into my drawing, This is wild. It feels real down here.
That is insane.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm good.
It's flat, look.
It's so real.
Hey.
Oh my. Ah,
careful,
I'm good. I'm good.
Gotcha.
Oh my God.
You good?
Yeah, I'm fine. That looks so real. I know. I can't believe it fooled me.
Whoa. Oh.
Easy there.
Yeah, that'd be funny. And some of these people are really talented with the three-dimensional drawings, and you encounter one on the sidewalk, it might alert you, wake you up just a little bit. Did some of those people, they were cruising on their phone, and all of a sudden, it was a what the fuck moment, right? Speaking of what the fuck moments, how about you're driving down the interstate and enjoying a nice evening drive on your way home, and all of a sudden you encounter a plane trying to land. Well, this happened in Florida on I-95. Check it on out.
And we are now finding out more about why a small plane crashed onto I-95 in Brevard County. Incredible video from a viewer shows the plane touched down there on top of a Toyota Camry. Incredibly, the Florida Highway Patrol says no one was seriously hurt.
The National Transportation Safety Board says this was an instructional flight out of Merritt Island. The plane lost power in both of the engines, and now they're opening their own investigation.
I bet. Wait. Here's the best part of it. You know, besides landing on an interstate, they lost power in both engines. It was an instructional flight. So what are you going to think about your instructor? You ready for your second lesson? I don't think so. I don't think so. Hey, any regard. Hey, you know what? Let's move on. Let's get to our asshole mirror badges. Again, I have two individuals that are vying for that particular coveted spot of who's going to be this week's asshole. And this first asshole is apparently a copper thief. And the copper theft that he was attempting apparently just didn't turn out so well for him.
Authorities say a man made a fatal mistake when he came in contact with live electrical wires after he tried to climb a power pole.
More than likely an attempt to steal copper. We are familiar that that's been going around or happening a lot here recently.
The man was electrocuted after investigators say he attempted to scale the wooden pole to get his hands on the copper wire from the phone lines. But the pole on Green Hill Place off Raymond Road broke, sending the man tumbling to the ground with live wires on top of him.
So you couldn't approach him, so we had to wait for energy to get there to kill the power before anybody could actually approach that individual.
When the man in Jackson died who fell to the ground, he broke his leg. Police say he was wearing an ankle bracelet on one of his legs. They used that information to help identify him.
Well, thank goodness that he had an ankle bracelet on, because he was obviously ordered that by the court. What an individual this guy was. Yeah. And they was able to identify the guy that was laying there for how long? Because they said they couldn't approach him because he had power lines across him, and they had to wait for the power company to come and actually cut the power at the transformer so that EMS could approach the guy. So he's laying there getting zapped for how long? That's it. Wow. Anyhow, genius in action. There you go. And well-deserved asshole of the week merit badge candidate. The next candidate goes to 8 individuals, as a matter of fact. I said 8. 8 individuals from a youth football team out of Philadelphia who was down in Florida for some type of a national invitational game, vying for some type of trophy. I don't know exactly what. But in any regards, these guys took it upon themselves, at least 8 other players took it upon themselves to go boosting in the local days. And let's see what happens.
I don't know if these all were starters or not, but I can tell you that we were finishers. We arrested them.
And this is surveillance video Saturday morning inside the Dick's Sporting Goods store in Davenport, Florida. 8 players from the United Thoroughbreds youth football team of Philadelphia are accused of splitting up into groups and stealing thousands of dollars worth of items. Officials said the manager saw it unfold, called police, and who were waiting outside when the boys tried to leave. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd wasn't happy about it.
And then you have a coach comes down there and tries to beg them out of it instead of holding them accountable. They were not taking bubble gum, one piece to chew. They stole over $2,000 worth of products, over 47 different products they stole. They let the team down. What about the rest of the kids on the team that came from Philadelphia to compete for a national championship? If you don't steal, we're your new best friends. If you steal, we're your worst enemy. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, boys. And yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that the coaches, please let them out, please let them out. They're the young kids who stole how much from the sporting store. Yeah, should have known better, but should have been better supervised, as a matter of fact. I mean, whoever took them there and didn't supervise these kids and just let them run chaotically through the store should be really held accountable also for what the hell just happened and went down there. Any regards, folks, that is it. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's show and made you think a little bit, maybe catch up on a little bit. I don't know. But either way, I hope you enjoyed the show, because it is time for Tim to get the hell on out of here. And again, thank you for dropping in and enjoy this little video from, it's an AI video, actually. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Enjoy your weekend.
Quiet piggy. You squeal when you lie. You grunt when you're cornered. But tonight, you shut the hell up for me. Got it? Quiet piggy. Hush now, skip the squeals. You only talk big when you got the feels. Quiet piggy. Shit now, sit still. I'm the one girl you know you can't grill. Quiet piggy. Yeah, coming so real. Went for the throne but slipped on the peel. Quiet piggy. Shit now, no squeaks. What's the plan? Stand, oh yeah, 2 weeks. Saw you on the jet yelling quiet piggy. Funny how projection makes you look twitchy. Calling folks porkers when the heat gets tricky. Checked your paperwork, every page is sticky. Thought you ran the world, you can't run a room. Your brain's been curdled in that spray tan fume. You rage at comics like they dent your soul, cause you're scared of truth and out of control. You bark like a bitch, you fold like a kid. You squat flip faster than your core base did. Your empire's in ruin, soaked in guilt. One gust of truth and the whole thing tilts. You beg for loyalty but you're out of luck. You brag you're a genius but you're dumb as fuck. You claim you're a king but you ain't that slick. You lame ass soon to be unemployed prick. You call it strength, I call it panic. You call it truth, we call it manic. Quiet, piggy, hush now, don't cry. Always pass out when the drugs run dry. Quiet, piggy, shit now, sit by. I'm the one girl you know you can't buy. Quiet, piggy, karma, don't lie. You made it to the top, then fell from the sky. Quiet, piggy, hush now, comply. Truth hits harder than your last deny. You run the whole nation like a midlife crisis, employing your goons like American ISIS. You got groceries soaring at triple the prices. You're hosting a garage sale of worn out vices. Mom Donnie called you out and you played it coy. Said you can just say yes like a frightened boy. You can't take heat, you're a busted clown. And my bars drop faster than your polls go down. You dodge real questions like you dodge your bills, like you dodge your votes, like you pop your pills. You wanna talk some smack, talk some real trash. I'm AI and Swift, I end a feud fast. Ask who to ask, yay, ask every dude who tried. Sorry sucker, you picked the wrong bitch to ride. I used to think monsters hid under the bed. Then I saw you on TV with your face all red. You were in top form, MCA grooving. Knew you were lying cause your lips were moving. But strength ain't loud, real power is earned. And every lie you told is another bridge burned. Quiet, piggy, hush now, skip the squeals. You only talk big when you got the feels. Quiet, piggy, shit now, sit still. I'm the one girl you know you can grill. Quiet, piggy, yeah, karma's so real. Went for the throne but slipped on the peel. Quiet, piggy, shit now, no squeaks. What's the plan? Stand, oh yeah, 2 weeks. You call folks piggies, cute projection. Every insult's just your own reflection. You say quiet, nah, you first, fella. Your shit's melting down like mozzarella. You wanna bring smoke? Try a fog machine. You ready to bounce? Buy a trampoline. Stick your neck out, I'll get the guillotine. But for now, just hush. Quiet, piggy. Piggy, hush now, don't cry. Always pass out when the drugs run dry. Quiet, piggy, shit now, sit by. I'm the one girl you know you can't buy. Quiet, piggy, karma, don't lie. You made it to the top, then fell from the sky. Quiet, piggy, hush now, comply. Truth hits harder than your last deny. Quiet, piggy, hush now, skip the squeals. You only talk big when you got the feels. Quiet, piggy, shit now, sit still. I'm the one girl you know you can't grill. Quiet, piggy, yeah, karma's so real. Went for the throne but slipped on the peel. Quiet, piggy, shit now, no squeaks. What's the plan? Stand, oh yeah, 2 weeks. Quiet, piggy, 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 piggy. Quiet, piggy, 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 fat piggy. Quiet, piggy, 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 piggy. Just shut your damn mouth.